Hello everyone, welcome back to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the Imperial Japanese Navy steaming straight back to Rabaul with our Fuso task force after being hit rather heavily by the US carrier a couple episodes ago. We are reeling from it, potentially, because I'm really not liking the damage we've taken on the Fuso. Let's have a quick look, shall we, just to refresh our memories. We have 4 flooded and completely destroyed compartments there. A couple of them not particularly useful compartments, but it's damage nonetheless. We are taking on flooding from that, and we have completely lost a director as well, so our solutions are not going to be anywhere near as good because of that. We have taken some hits, of course, to the Tonne over here as well. We have only taken 1 extra completely damaged compartment now with flooding on it, so that might be enough to warrant sending it back to repair. We do have to make our mind up as well about the Kumano over here as well, which has already been, spent most of its time on this playthrough in the rest and repairs part of the game here. The poor thing has not been able to stay very long on the sea here at all. We have only lost a secondary mount and a catapult to launch our aircraft off though, so that might not be enough to warrant sending it back to rest and repair. The Makanami here deciding it's doing its own thing. Can't sail in a straight line. I've not given them any orders. This is only the intro, but okay, fair enough. You do what you want, mate. But yeah, otherwise we're going to look at our situation on the strategic map, and we'll have a look to see what we're going to do then about this ruddy bloody carrier. So then, let's see what our submarines are doing first of all. We can see that our Fuso task force is beelining straight towards Rabaul. What are our subs doing? This one's patrolling over here to try and catch anything going towards the Santa Cruz Islands. This one apparently is not doing anything. So what we're going to do with the I-17 is actually bring it back to screen our carrier group just over here. This is 5 AM in the morning of the 28th of September. So we are able to do whatever we want in terms of our air groups. The carrier, from what I remember, is right over here. So actually what we're going to do is, I think we're going to push up and do a small scout around here with our I-15. Maybe we can catch that again. You never know. Maybe we can catch it, but it is a lot quicker. Otherwise, I think what we're going to do with our Shokaku force is actually just review what damage we've taken over here. It's only light damage to funnels and engineering. We should be okay. We have lost rather a lot of Kates already, 11 of those, which is from what we did on the previous episode, unfortunately, where we did try and attack that carrier, but it did not go very well at all. It's really sad about that. We do still have some American light cruisers to worry about. We were not able to completely sink the task forces going towards Guadalcanal. So what we're going to do with the carrier is get it scouting. How good to quit patrol around here. No particular order to that. It's just to keep an eye out for certain things. But, ladies and gentlemen, we do, of course, need to remember to not neglect our scouting. So we're going to get some Jakes up. I'm going to get one actually from here. I'm going to put it towards the Santa Cruz Islands and then straight up around Guadalcanal and back around here. And hopefully it will retreat back down to us like that. With this one, I'm going to see if we can scout out that aircraft carrier very quickly and come back around again to screen for our carrier in the front there. Going to do pretty much the same with the I-15's Jake. It's going to go towards the New Hebrides and just scout in a fairly straight line over there. Very simple stuff, just to make sure we have our bases covered. With Miyoko, we're going to launch over here, just forward scouting like that, to make sure our Shokaku doesn't get any nasty surprises along that way. Going to do the same again with the Chikuma. And that is going to just go in where that previous Jake didn't. And it's going to go out around here and down here, because I still have the feeling that there might be something down there. It's going to double check that we have one from the Congo, and that is going to come out and zigzag the usual pattern down here, I think. So with that being said, let's have a look, see where we're going. Might want to launch more air group scouts to from the Shokaku to see. Have a see about any. There we go. Okay, I was thinking about sending something over here. It's 5 destroyers and 3 light cruisers. That is either a completely new task force or an amalgam of what we've destroyed and dealt with the last couple of days, I think. So we're going to press ignore on that. That would be rather difficult to hit with an air group, actually, because of so many light cruisers, and the destroyer's flak will build up. So actually, what I'm going to do is try and bring the I-17 up. I know what you're thinking, there's a lot of destroyers there, they could detect us, but actually it's going towards the Shokaka group, so we're going to pause here and actually just bring this back on its normal patrol path there, and click patrol like that, and actually try and intercept it with the Shokaka group. And what we are going to do is launch some vows, I think, and actually try and be very spicy, and perhaps hit one of the light cruisers. Just like that. I'm going to increase speed there, and that should be right on top of them now. So, let's see what we can do. We are right on top of them. That is, from that formation, that is going to be a lot of flak coming in. I'm just going to go in and identify them very quickly. So, yeah, Cleveland, possibly another one, actually. Yeah, okay. Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. So it's going to be rather a lot of flak coming in, like we've said. That's either a Benson or a Gleaves, isn't it? That'd be Bagley or Gridley. Okay, interesting. So this might be a new task force completely. None of them looking like they've taken any damage so far, which is rather interesting. We've got a difficult decision then of what we should strike, because all of the light cruisers are bunched up rather closely, and of course the Cleveland does have a really nasty AA profile on it, which hasn't stopped us before, of course, but now there's so many of them. What I might do is actually try and sink a destroyer, because the light cruisers shouldn't be very difficult to destroy with our surface fleet. Not saying the destroyers themselves will be particularly difficult, but they do like to run away and provide smoke cover. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for the back one over here, I think, with all of our vows. And we're going to do it with all of our vows because the destroyers are such a small target, and it's not guaranteed that we will hit them flush. Which is rather unfortunate, actually, but it's just how things are. Since they are such a small and fast target, it is rather difficult. So this should be rather simple. Actually, to make things a little easier, we're going to come in from the back like that. And why is it easier coming in from the back? Well, we'll look at the AA profiles of the Clevelands, and where is it? Go to American and light cruiser. We should see that the Cleveland's AA profile does not hit so well on the rear. It does have a lot of it concentrated on the centre there, as it would do, and just a tiny bit on the back there. That will probably be just a couple small arms on the back there. So, how are we looking? I think we're looking at decent formations for it. A Vic formation would probably be ideal for this. Line ahead would of course be okay, but only if it doesn't move. If it does go in a perfectly straight line, and if we do line us up exactly. So we're going to attack from here, like this, losing the button there. And what would be difficult is I'm expecting to lose vowels on the way out because of this, because we do still have the Clevelands just go through here. So we're going to have to be on it with our retreat orders here. To go straight out, and still the flak is very heavy even from this angle, but it is a little bit better than what it would be otherwise. So we're going to tell this group to get out straight away, and I think the best way to go is actually if we make a sharp turn to the flank there and increase our speed and altitude like that, all at max, just to make things rather simple. And hopefully, yeah, no hits there. This is what we were saying a second ago, that it is going to be rather difficult to hit anything like this. Or rather hit a destroyer. Possibly would have been better to go for a Cleveland, especially considering that our losses have been extremely minimal. But that's okay. It looks like all of us have dropped now, which is brilliant stuff. So, we got a couple hits. Nothing major. We've only lost one vow. I think so far that's fairly acceptable. Weren't expecting anything huge. It is a little bit disappointing that we couldn't sink it, or at least just completely cripple it. Only 3 direct hits, not going to do a hell of a lot there. Just going to slow it down though, because it was right on the centre. Perhaps we have, perhaps we've disabled some engineering, some funnels on there. but otherwise we're going to ask for a retreat order and go straight out of there. So, straight back to the Shokaku with that flight, and we might give it some more time to rearm and repair, and then we're going to try and actually intercept that group with our full surface group there. Should be a fairly decent fight. Of course, we will, if we can, try and launch some aircraft from the Shokaku. We do come into contact with them again. Aircraft near the Jakes, so that means the carrier may have already retreated down to the south here. We do have to engage them there, but we may of course try to retreat instantly. We're going to increase our speed and altitude with Jake, just so they have to climb a bit more to get to us. Hopefully that should be a fairly easy retreat. In fact, we're just going to compress time here. There's not a lot to do. Yeah, they're right on top of us. Look over here. He's getting some tail shots on. Maybe we'll have just enough time to leave. Go on, go on. There we go. Cheese that one, eh? The best tactic, of course. So if we keep this out in the area, we may lose it, but it is only a Jake, and I do want to try and find that carrier again. We are, of course, retreating back with all our Kamigawa Marus and Nippon Marus. We are going to send them back to rest and repair immediately. There's not a lot we can pick up with those now. I do, of course, have a lot of supplies now in Rabaul, but supplies alone won't win the invasion here, I don't think. So, let's just carry on, shall we, I think. Alrighty then, so joining me in what appears to be rather heavy rain at the moment, we did sight on the strategic map the task force we just hit with the Vowels, and we did not get a engagement notice from sighting them, but we are apparently right on top of them, so we are going to see what we're doing here. I have launched Vowels and a Jake, just to see if we can sight them. So our visibility is going to be absolutely terrible here, and yeah, we can see we have already got them over there. We do have a Kingfisher over us as well. That's something to think about. They will have sighted us if that's the case. So we're going to get our Jake over in that direction. Was only spotted very briefly. What exactly is the range there then? That is, that's about 10 kilometers away. That would basically right on top of them. If that's the case, then we're going to go over to our task force here and actually try and kite away. Yeah, they're already getting shots on us. That's because they do have that Jake over us. Going to just pause very quickly here and try and identify everything very, very quickly. So we have a Cleveland. That's going to turn up as a Fallback because the picture takes priority over what you've actually got, which is rather strange. I don't think we can identify that because it's not on the map. That's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do is get the Congo to fire at that immediately. Like so. That should have enough. Yeah, we do have resupplied recently. We should have enough shells for this battle. Excellent stuff. Get the Chikuma to fire on that as well. Like so. Doing just the same patterns. This is going to be fairly difficult. If we do get any floods on them though, the sea state does appear to be rather high. We will double check this actually. Yeah, the sea state is 7, absolutely disgustingly choppy, and the wind speed is 30 knots as well. Disgustingly high there. So any floods and fires we get on them, and of course any that come on us, will be rather dangerous. So what we're going to do actually with the leading Fallback is get a smoke screen off and get one off with the Naganami here as well, just to make sure we get a bit of distance on them a bit easier, because we're already taking hits on the Fallback here, which is rather horrible. At this close range, the Americans certainly have an advantage. So we're going to try and retreat and escape for the moment. We did come in far too close, just like Admiral Ozzel coming out of Lightspeed far too quickly. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to identify this ship, but actually getting a firing solution on it is probably not a bad idea. However, this is the Fallback, so I'm going to guess it on a destroyer, and this one is it's either a Benson or a Gleaves, isn't it? Should we have a look at that? If we guess it on here, just guess it to fire off anyway, like this. There we go. We're going to look at destroyers and look at Benson first. There's not really much in it between that and the Gleaves, is there? So just going to go for Benson. Number 5, what's a U? U could be anything as far as I'm concerned. So let's go to Gridley. It's looking like that actually, isn't it? Yeah. Might actually be a Bagley. Let's look at the turret setup. Okay, not a lot different there either. the funnel's not particularly different either. It's coming down to these spots in the middle. That does confirm that I think that is looking like what is it? I think that's a Bagley there. Okay, let's see, the number 1 is a Cleveland as well, so just going to identify that. There we go, that's that so far. We're going to get our valves straight in, and they're going to come down like this, and they're going to go for one of the Clevelands, because they are absolutely a priority target right now. They are going to be doing a lot of damage to us. This is not going to be a clean battle at all. This is rather a close range brawl in the dark and in the rain. Rather horrible stuff. I think we're... no, we'll leave the Congo too far. We're not going to get a smoke screen off from here. I think it's fair enough just having the 2 destroyers having one. Do need to watch our formation, of course, because in the circle formation, maneuverability is not easy. We should really change that actually perhaps to a column, I think. But the I do like having the protection of the carrier there. Interesting. We may have to make a tighter turn like this. It is going to be rather horrible for our manoeuvring. But actually what we could do is perhaps get a manual shot off from our torpedoes here. It is rather ideal if they're turning, and I think that's what we're going to do. Just make it rather simple and try and catch them in the turn there. And once our Hibiki and such have moved over, we're going to try and get that as well. We're going to get the valves, actually, I've just noticed they're not on the perfect line there. I am going to get them to turn around like this and come up from the rear again like that. That would be ideal, I think. I would try and keep them out of flak range. Of course, the rain helping us here with their reduced visibility, but you never know. I'm going to try and identify these destroyers as well when we have the time. So I'm just going to do this with the valves. I'm going to switch over to destroyers here, and this might be a Bagley as well. Excellent stuff. So it's identify us as such, and this is a Sims, I believe. Where are we? Yep, that is definitely a Sims. Yep, just had a quick doubt there. Did we identify the number 6 here? We did not, by the looks of it. It's looking like it's going to get a mild collision there. I've been noticing these far more often now, actually. AI seems to be struggling just as much as we are with our formations, but I think they're going to be safe there. So we're just going to leave that and try and get into position there, I think. Alright then, joining me just a couple minutes later, we have ordered our Hibiki and Myoko to actually fire some torpedoes down to their port and down to their centre here, just to see if we can get a decent spread off. Obviously hoping to hit them, but not expecting too much there. We're looking, I think, the best target for our valves would actually be over here, because the Cleveland now taking hits, because they're so close to the Benson here, it's probably a good idea to go for that. Try and get some collateral damage over there. So we're going to change our course just a little bit over here and target the Cleveland with our valves like that. That was the back on there, so we're going to go like this, just over there, and go for the Cleveland rather than the Benson there. Excellent stuff. And the valves over here can do the same. Just go up like this, and just going to pause very quickly because I do want to tell the others to attack like that. There we go. I think we're in a decent position for that now, actually. Let's tell them to go straight in. We can see that they're also taking damage as well, but we are taking damage on the, I think, the Hibiki and the Naganami now, which is rather a shame. I think we're going to tell this group to attack as well. And yeah, this group is right on top of them. They can attack as well. Excellent stuff there. So we're going to go straight over here and tell this lot to get straight out once they can, which is now. They have already got a order to do that, so we'll just change it ourselves like that and increase your speed and altitude, please. How is the damage going to look on there? Oh, that is a brilliant hit. Absolutely great. Let's go straight over to this so we can get them out straight away. Oh, I did lose one there. But I said get out straight away, didn't I? Which means straight away, funnily enough. So let's increase the speed and altitude again. This group, how are you looking? How are you looking? We did get a hit on the Benson as well with that attack. Excellent stuff. No, losing stuff. Losing too many there. That is rather unfortunate, but they, of course, need to get out as well. See, our torpedoes are nearly right on top of them. Brilliant stuff. This could go in our favour here. Could go in our favour. Oh, snappy camera. Do not like it. So this Cleveland should be almost dead in the water now. We're going to take a quick action report. Where are we? Yeah, critical damage and heavy flooding. That flooding will definitely spread with these such massive sea states, and these fires will be disgusting as well. This Cleveland taking some damage as well, and the destroyer here is taking some decent damage from our own destroyers. Have got the Shokaku firing on one of them as well. I believe it's this one. Yep, the Benson there. Brilliant stuff. These torpedoes not looking too bad. I've seen worse. It should be okay. So how are we looking with the damage on the Hibiki here? It is rather disgusting, actually. That's a lot of damaged compartments there, and we did fire off our torpedoes just in time there because we are losing that now. We've lost damage on the funnel here, but the funnel's destroyed anyway. It's just the spreading of fires I'm worried about. The Shokaku appears to be doing its own thing according to formations, so what we're going to do is actually try and split things off a little easier here. We're going to get this Shokaku in full retreat by itself because it's not going to be very useful here in direct confrontation. It is one of the closest ships to them as well. So what we're going to do is, of course, get it to lay a smoke screen for itself. I think that would be ideal. How do we want this to retreat? Because going straight up like this might obstruct our other ships, actually. So it's not looking so bad, is it? What we're going to do is tell it to go up like that and round, just get straight out, but that will be on course with our Fallback here. I think like that. Actually, we're going to go in for it here and go straight up like that, get some more distance, but come round, try and cross their T a bit like that with the rest of our formation. So that's going to form up with everything else. That is going to be a circular, so we stay in formation like that. Should be okay there. And Shokaku, just going to make sure it is doing its own things. It's going to form up by itself there. Brilliant stuff. These torpedoes not looking too bad over here actually on the map, but they might just be a little behind. This is a shame. Probably should have put a wider spread on everything, so they might all miss there. Rather unfortunate. How's this Cleveland looking? Yeah, it's taking some more damage. Looks like it's pretty much out of action now. So if that is the case, no, its guns are still firing, and as long as they're still firing, it is still a threat, of course. So do just want to keep firing on that. Go look at our Congos. Yeah, the solution is absolutely terrible. So what we're going to do actually is hold off with that and get a manual fire out on that. The speed is only 9 knots, so it should be fairly easy to hit. So we're going to go like that, I think. And there we go. It is only getting the back turrets firing. That's not a problem. We will start moving into position there. In fact, what I want to do is get the Fallback group to turn around the other way so we can get some torpedoes off with our other side torpedoes from the cruisers, I think, which is going to make the Shokaku's retreat a little more awkward, actually. So what we're going to do is, how's this going to go? How's this going to go? I think I want it to carry on like that and just get straight out like that, if possible, because we can see shells coming in for it. There's a one ship I really don't want to lose here. Our torpedoes have unfortunately missed, but it has kept them in place there for us. How is our solution over here? We probably could stop laying smoke so much. This is not helping us at all, but they're in heavy smoke themselves, which is not going to help. We've got searchlights on by the looks of it. Where is this? Oh, our Hibiki here, taking really horrible damage now. That is very likely going to go down this engagement. Yeah, look at all of that damage. We're going to have to say goodbye to the Hibiki, I think. Doesn't look like they've got searchlights on there, doesn't it? Yeah, the range to them is disgustingly close. It's 6.2 kilometers. Re-established contact with something there. Great stuff. How many valves did we lose? A bit too many, a bit too many. So yeah, we definitely have to say goodbye to the Hibiki here. That is rather sad. Rather sad. Oh, this Cleveland is looking pretty much intact actually. That is disgusting. Which one's that? The number 2. Yeah, only minor damage there. Everything else actually looking fairly intact themselves. This one, number 3, is taking no damage at all. So having said that, I might change our targets a little bit. We're going to go to our Congo, and that's going to go for... What would be the easiest target for it? Probably the number 2 over here, I think would be the best. So we're going to stop on number 1, go over here and just get some narrow spotting off, I think. We go like that. Chikuma can do the same, I think. Just stop firing on the number 1. That'd be a great idea. Lovely stuff. Miyoko, you can go for actually I think the number 3 in the end. Just to try and get some shots on there. Maybe we'll get some collateral on a nearby ship. You never know. Like that, there we go. So, Naganami is on course to clash with the Shokaku. So what we're going to do with this is actually brake, slow down. Not exactly to a halt. Actually, just 7 knots there. Naganami, how you doing? Can you increase your speed, please? There we go. Sorry, the Hibiki is absolutely stuck now. Yeah, it's that is so sad, but it's okay. I'd rather lose a destroyer than a cruiser, or even, of course, the Shokaku, which is the absolute top priority here. So, having said that, this really should be going at a faster speed, please. Please. Naganami, please. You've not taken any damage. You should be going quicker than this. How dare you disobey my orders? Alright, so trying to get some order in our ranks here. Our Shokaku is coming under fire now. Only minor damage so far with some glancing shots. We do have a fire on a rear general compartment though. If that starts spreading to our rudders and propellers, that's going to be some trouble there. So we are going straight out with that in smoke. Of course, we have formed up a line abreast with the Congo, Chikuma, and Miyoko to try and get some order there. The Naganami is coming out to retreat and group up here. That might actually come into contact with the Shokaku there, so what I'm going to do is actually get it round here, and maybe that will try and engage the Benson a little actually. So we're going to stop firing on the Bagley and go over like this. There we go, get it HE spot, and the Fubiki going to come around, try and lead. It's trying to get shots on. It's not firing at anything spotted at the moment, so actually our Jake's left the combat area. We should have kept an eye on that. That's completely my fault. We've lost contact with the number over here, the second Cleveland. So what we're going to fire at is, we've sunk the first Cleveland. That's absolutely fine. That's a decent trade for our Hibiki, if you ask me. We're going to stop firing because it's not firing necessarily anything particular there. We're going to fire at this Cleveland here, and that's going to happen with Chikuma as well, because it can't currently see what it's being told to fire at. And that will certainly be a deficit, a bad thing. Miyoko is firing on this, so with a 50% solution, so we're going to keep it on narrow spotting for now, and hopefully that will go up a bit. This Cleveland not actually in smoke, although there is a smoke barrier behind it, so what we're going to do is try and sort out our own smoke screens here. None of our main force here is in smoke, so I think we can actually get away with that. The Fubiki is laying smoke though. I think we're going to stop that. The Naganami is also in smoke. I think we're going to keep the Naganami and Shokaku under smoke, of course. Try and protect our Shokaku mainly. So we're going to focus on the Congo and the 2 cruisers here, and try and see what we can do about this extra Cleveland here. And by doing such, we're going to increase our speed. We are trying to get max speed with this and just angle out a bit more so we can get some decent shots off with all of our guns. How's this looking? It has taken some minor glancing shots. This is not a smoke screen, this is an actual fire. The destroyer behind it, the Bagley, I believe, is not necessarily spotted. It's probably for the best for it because it is under heavy fire here. I imagine that is flooding very well. That's the sunk Cleveland. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. This is going to be, like I said, a rather bloody battle here. I'm tempted to try and go for this Benson, actually. Might be a slightly better target for our destroyer, at least, over here. So we're going to stop with that and fire HE spotting on that. I think we're going to get the Miyoko. Do we want the Takuma on it? Let's get the Miyoko on it, actually. Stop firing at Cleveland. Completely go for the Benson, please. You're going to go fire with HE. And you're going to get, of course, your secondaries on it as well. I don't think we're going to try and get any more torpedoes out because there's not a decent angle and they're in retreat. I don't think it's going to be worth doing that at all, I'm afraid. How we look with the Shokaku. Doesn't look like we're coming under fire anymore. Excellent stuff. So we can get on top of this superficial damage. We don't have any fires. Brilliant stuff. Naganami, how you doing? You were taking some hits earlier, but I think we're okay. So we're going to stop with your smoke there, actually. And try and get some shots off on this Benson here. Be lovely stuff. How are we looking with this? Okay, so we need to keep on the narrow spotting with the Congo there. Try and get our solution up a little bit. It is going to be rather tough. But if we can get some decent hits in, it'd be worth it. It's just a matter of waiting now and trying to minimise any more losses or damage. Unfortunately, trying to get some decent trades off. If we can get one more Cleveland and maybe this Benson, I will call that a certain decisive win. We definitely should have kept our Jake in the engagement area. Completely forgot about that after all the chaos with losing our Hibiki and such. But not a bother, not a bother. Yeah. Seriously losing it towards the end of this series here. Guessing losing our control and composure. But that's absolutely fine. Going to change the Fubiki's direction over here. That's actually going to circle round again, I think, and come down like this. Like that. Press the wrong button there. There we go. Okay. Actually not looking too great with the solution on here, are we? Losing a lot of solution on this Benson. Can we spot it with our binoculars, actually? Not sure if that helps too much. In fact, I don't think it helps at all. What is the speed it's going at? 19 knots. We're thinking perhaps a manual shot out with that. We might have misidentified it, actually. That might have something to do with it. Should we try and identify it as a Gleaves? Let's see if that helps at all. If our solution doesn't really change or gets worse, and we know for sure it's Benson. And yeah, it's going right down now, isn't it? Okay. So let's change back to Benson. Like that. That's Summers. I don't know why I did that. Thought I clicked Benson somehow. Being stupid. There we go, it's gone straight back out, so it must be. Well, that's all we can do solution-wise there. If it weren't turning so much, I'd be very tempted to go for a manual shot. We might have a look at that. This is slowing down a bit now as it's turning. We are getting some glancing shots off. I imagine that's with a destroyer. Yeah, how are we doing? What's the distance there? Okay, cool. Probably want to turn around a bit, actually, because the firing angle's not great. I don't want to keep the Congo on the Cleveland, though. Interesting. Well, it's not going to get any better if we wait, so let's just go for it, I think. Go like that. Oh, we got a fair amount of shots off. Got a full broadside on it. Decent stuff. We'll have to just see if that hits now. Not entirely guaranteed. I think it's possibly a little too much lead there, actually. No, that's probably it, actually. That looked pretty decent. I will take that. I will happily take that. I want to get rid of this because it is chasing down. It's looking like it's threatening the Naganami and the Shokaku. So we do want to get rid of this as quickly as possible. Like that, I think. I'm only getting the rear firing turrets now, so it might actually change up to fire at the Cleveland now. Like so. Where are you? We've lost contact with it. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. So what we're going to do is actually turn around with Congo, try and come in between like that. Ooh, that's taking a decent... Benson sinking. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. So actually we're not going to turn around with the Congo. We're just going to all steam ahead. But we might actually think about retreating, because if we're not going to get any decent sight on them, then it's not really worth pursuing. We're just going to take more damage than it's worth. So actually I think that's what we're going to do. we're not guaranteed to get some decent sight on now. They have radar, we do not. We can't fight against that sight. So we're actually going to leave. So, what was the damage there? We did actually come out of that okay-ish. Ignoring the Hibiki, did only take some glancing shots, and we did of course sink a Cleveland and a Benson. We did leave another Benson in a heavy damage and moderate flooding, and a Bagley in moderate damage. So not too bad. They do of course still have 2 Clevelands out there. That might be something to think about in a second. I'm going to come back a bit with our Shokaku and try and get some air raids off in between there, I think. We're going to see if we can... Yeah, we have our Vals here. We're going to tell them to return to base immediately. Do have a scouting plane come up here. I think that's coming from the CV. So we're going to get another aircraft off from the Chikuma, and that's going to come down on that beam over there and try and just come back up, scout us out properly like that. Might launch... it's probably a good idea to launch some zeros actually. So that's what we're going to do. Once we have time, we need to wait an hour first, so that's not a problem. So I will see you in a second. And only a couple of game hours later, we have come back into contact with the same group, which has gained some distance on us now. Exactly what is the distance there? If we target the first ship there, it is 10 kilometers away. That suits us a bit better. We have launched some Kates because we did get some warning about it. Excellent stuff. We should have some zeros in the air as well. We do not. Well, that's really stupid. That should be because they've lost fuel in the meantime. That's not a problem. We did launch some to give ourselves some combat air patrol. So what we're going to do is identify this ship as a Cleveland, and I do want to try and strike it with our Kates. If we go to light cruiser and Cleveland again, like that. What we're going to do is actually just carry on, cross their tier base and come onto their flank. I think would be a good idea, like that. Gonna get our Jake to stay over here and keep spotting on them. Just circle round like that. Brilliant stuff. We're going to identify their other ships here as well. Do have 2 Clevelands like that. This one was the Bagley, wasn't it? Go over to DD and Bagley, and the same's over here. Just like to make that so it's a little more visual for us on the map. This was a Sims, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff. And this one, a Benson. Brilliant. Okay, so what we want to think about is actually how we're going to approach this with our planes. But first of all, we're going to line up some shots, of course, with the Congo. And the Congo, I think, is going to fire... I think over on the number 2 here, we're going to go like that, and AP spot, thank you very much. Chikuma's going to fire on that as well, and so is the Miyoko. So we're going to fire with our Kates onto the number 1, which looks like it's retreating, and the reason for that is because it's showing its rear to this direction here, and it's therefore, well, and so are the protecting ships around it. They're facing their rears to that Cleveland. So it should be a bit easier to come up from this direction and try and strike it with our Kates. Like that. We're going to send all of our Kates on it to try and secure a kill. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to send one in reserve. That's going to come out like this over there. Brilliant stuff. We're going to get, in the meantime then, our Shokaku to fire some secondaries out on the chasing Bagley, like that. The Naganami is going to fire on the Sims, like that, and the Fibiki is going to help us out, I think. Do not want it on the Cleveland, thank you. It's not going to do a hell of a lot on there. Brilliant stuff. We do of course need to tell our Kates to dive down. That would be rather useful. So let's just do that very quickly. Do not want to forget about that. There we go. So they are of course changing their course now and trying to group up a bit more. So this is going to be a little more difficult to actually get a successful strike off with our Kates. We do of course need to change our course there as well. To try and come in like that, I think. Because guessing a flush stern fire would not be very useful. And these Kates can still stay in the rear. I'm just going to bring them up like this a little. Yeah, there we go. Where exactly are they? Cannot see them. Should only be over here. There we go. Got a better view there. It's going to be rather tough again. And actually crossing the T like this is probably not the best of ideas now. Because that's where they're trying to head. So actually we're going to start retreating ourselves and try kiting with our ships. Let's try not to get too close to them, of course. Now, how are we looking with their Clevelands? It'll be a tad difficult. I'm just going to pause very quickly and try and think about our approach here. Going straight over for the leading Cleveland would not be the best idea, because it will keep us in the AA for quite a while. But we are going to, if we go for the back one and go from its starboard side, we're going to have to retreat through their AA as well and go through the destroyers. So this could be a tad tough. So actually what we're going to do is keep everyone in reserve for now. We don't have to hit them straight away. You can of course keep your planes in reserve and wait for a more opportune moment to present itself, of course. And of course the way you make the opportunity present itself is of course to not wait for the iron to be hot before striking, but make it hot by striking, of course. So we're going to batter them hopefully with our ship's main battery guns and wait for them to get into such confusion like the AI usually likes to do, and try and hit them when that happens. Do we have any available torpedoes on our ships? We do have some on the Fallback. We should have some on the Myoko. Fired, yeah, we do. Brilliant stuff. They've been able to reload in the interlude there. Excellent stuff. So we're going to have a look at that. They are still deciding what to do with their course and speed. It looks like we're having a bit of trouble here. So what we're going to do actually is break off with destroyers and cruisers, and we're going to get excuse me, we're going to get our Shokaku again to just retreat, which would be the best idea, I think. So that's going to break, and that will turn around, just get out of the engagement. It is a very high value target there. Has this taken a hit? You disgusting little things. That's nearly knocked out the main turret. That does have a fairly decent solution actually. We'll wait for that to get to 60 and change that. What we're going to do is get the Fallback to lead the that and the Naganami. They're going to go in a line ahead and they're going to form up. They're going to carry on down, I think, just like that. Try and stay out of range there. We're going to screen with our Congo, Chikuma and Myoko, and they're going to form a line abreast. Do we make that a line ahead with that? No, we did not. There we go, like that please. The Congo and Chikuma and Myoko can get a line abreast. Make sure that's right. And they are going to just carry on straight over here. Actually get, not necessarily in their face, but make things just a little bit easier for ourselves like that. The Shokaku can launch smoke screen, and that'd be brilliant. We are going to carry on and watch what they're doing though with that formation. See what's happening there. It's just about being a little bit more active with your formations and ships. You don't need to keep them in the starting formation, as we've so learnt. Do have a fire, I think, on the Myoko, which will be a problem with the wind speed. Has calmed down from our previous engagement, but still not ideal. How's the Congo looking here with its solutions? I think we're going to stop with spotting fire and just get on narrow there, I think. Probably for the best. Myoko, what about you? I think we're going to do the same. It This is now dipping up to 60 now and then. And the Chikuma, I imagine you're pretty similar. Yeah, let's do that, shall we? Firing, that's not the Chikuma, that is a destroyer. I was worried then what was firing HE. And we are, of course, going with our secondaries as well. That is brilliant stuff. So, how are we looking over here? It doesn't look like I've taken any hits just yet, which is rather a shame. That's okay. That's okay. Might be... It's going to be a tough ask. We're going to have to bring our Kates round just to make sure they don't leave the engagement area. Might be a tough ask, but if we go for the number 1 like we were planning to, we might get some collateral if we do get any misses on the Cleveland behind it. Will be tough because we do have so much concentrated AA, but there's not a lot of avoiding this at this stage, I don't think. Which is rather unfortunate. So it does look like they're retreating in that direction, so we're going to get our Fibakis to just come up like that, and our Congo can do pretty much the same. So we're going to go straight over here and lead up like that. Shokaku, of course, on its way out. Excellent stuff. Alrighty then, so now we've got some order with our own ships. It looks like we're coming into range with our Kates. So what I want to do, I think, is tell this group to attack from here actually. And we're going to change the position of this group here. We're going to come in like that and come from that direction. And this one is actually going to try and come in from the front. It does need to target the Cleveland. And the reason it's coming in from the front there is to try and make a lovely, nice old spread for them. And to try and get some collateral hits there perhaps. That would be ideal. We're going to tell them actually to attack now. This group's going to get behind it just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think... Let's give it just a little bit more. A little bit more. Now. Brilliant stuff. So, let's get this one to get out as soon as it can. That's going to be a massive lead actually. Might not be great there. But we have all dropped, so we're going to go straight out, increase your speed please, and your altitude, as is only natural. This group, possibly looking a bit better. Possibly looking a bit better. We have dropped, so get out, get out, get out. Increase your speed please. And this group, how are you looking? You've dropped as well. Actually, the first group there, not looking too bad. Just go to pause there so we can have a look at that. I do like to try and get a few cinematic shots, you know me by now. Like to watch action rather than command it. This is pure efficiency. Oh no, duds! But they're looking okay to hit the back Cleveland so far. This is the plan. Launch enough torpedoes at the wall and you're bound to hit something. Yeah, this one's got to go down from here. That's taken far too many. Far too many. Excellent stuff. Oh, it's just going to miss that Cleveland with that back one. That is a shame. Might only be that one that hits. Because I don't think it's going quite quick enough. And now that we've hit something on the stern, that will slow it down again. Did hit a destroyer though. That might be enough to sink it with the damage it took earlier, but you never know. A sea state's going to be very useful for spreading out our floods. And yeah, this one just a little too far behind. We actually lost a couple Kates. It's not so bad. So we're going to just let them fly out now. Do still have our Jake in contact there. And the Congo's solution is not looking great, is it? It's taking some glancing shots. Okay. We'll just change everyone to spotting fire. See what we can do about that. But they will now, of course, be in smoke now that we've struck them. Just going to make things a little more difficult. It's a shame though. How many did that first one get hit by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decent. 6 torpedoes. Excellent stuff. Number 2 only took the 1. That's not a problem. Benson did take 1, and the number 1 is now sinking. Brilliant stuff. Lovely little trade there. Might be able to come in and mop up. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Whether this will be a decisive engagement, I do not know yet. So what we're going to do is get our Congo to move at max speed, and just come in just a little closer there. And we've just noticed that, of course, we hit it the Cleveland. on the rear, didn't we? So that's probably damaged its rudder and propellers. So what we're going to do is actually get a manual shot off, because it is only going at a 5-knot speed, which is excellent stuff. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Makes it somewhat easy target there. Somewhat easy, not guaranteed. We have lost contact with it, so what we're going to do is bring our Jake back round, and hopefully that will get sight of it like that. Okay, cool. But we are going to keep sight with these sims and such over here. This one is what got hit by the torpedo. Brilliant. I wonder if we can put a pin mark down on the map over here. It's not exactly how it works, though, is it? No, of course not. Okay, that's a shame. We just have to wait for that to come back into sight. Should be okay. That is Benson's on massive fires, though. That is brilliant stuff. It's exactly what we like to see there. Probably won't just be sunk from that one torpedo, though, by the looks of it. And here we go. We're getting some hits in now on this Cleveland, which is actually not doing too well at all. Not well at all. It is only a 4-knot speed. Excellent stuff. So we're going to just get a double check our firing solution there. Change that out like that. And we might want to do the same with our cruisers. Not stop. We do want to keep firing. I just meant to hold. Don't know why I did that. We'll go like that. Where's Chikuma? You're going to hold off as well and just fire like that. Should be okay. How is our angle over them? Not so bad, is it? Yeah, we get some decent hits in now. Decent, decent, decent. So we're going to not neglect our destroyers, who are doing okay. They're doing okay for themselves. Going to make sure they are on spotting still, because unfortunately their solutions are not great. But I don't want to bring them too close, is the thing, because they will start getting ripped apart. So otherwise, I think once we've traded this Cleveland, we can leave. The destroyers, not a massive problem. We can mop them up later on, try and get it a bit closer and rip them apart with our cruisers. It is this Cleveland, of course, which is the main problem here. We can even launch aircraft, of course, at the destroyers. And there we go, a very nice little second engagement there. We are going to pull back again with this task force to get a little closer to Guadalcanal, but hopefully the remaining destroyers will start retreating now. We can hit them with further air engagements. But unfortunately, everyone, I think that's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Thank you very much for watching again. Please leave your comments in the section below. I'd love to hear feedback. Yeah, having said that, again, thank you very much for watching, and I've been the Edified Gamer. I hope all your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.